This video is sponsored by DistroKid, and this is my dad, Cloudchord.
There's a reason the holidays bring us together. Why the best gifts are delivered in threes. Why cold weather can't stop us from heating up. Why a last-second surprise is something we never forget. And why it feels like Christmas morning 5 times in one day.
What's up, everybody? So today's a little bit different of a video, and that I want to tell you a story. A couple holidays ago, I was approached by an advertising agency that I work with, a handful of times a year. I don't make a ton of commercials, but I do some on occasion. So anyways, they wanted me to make some trap kind of music for this NBA holiday commercial, and the commercial is what you just saw before this. So what I want to do is walk you through my process with this, and the process of writing music for a 30-second commercial. And the interesting thing about this one is, since it's been a while and due to the agreement, I was able to rework what I made here for my latest single, which is called Nutcracker Trap, and I was able to do it royalty free and not have to worry about any credits or registering it as a cover song. So all pretty cool stuff. So let's dig into what I got going on here and the art of writing music to sync with commercials. Here we go. All right, hold up real quick. Speaking of sampling and credits and all that kind of stuff, did you know that with DistroKid, you can send your credits and liner notes to streaming services? Only with DistroKid. Check it out. Normally you just send album title, song title, artist name, all that kind of stuff. But here you can add songwriters, musicians, who played didgeridoo, who played triangle, who played rhythm guitar, producers, that's super clutch. You can also credit your album art designer, everyone else involved. And check this out, you can even put your manager and booking agent on there, trying to solidify some wicked good gigs next summer. DistroKid can help with that. So check out the VIP link in the comments below and you get 7% off sign up. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay, so the hardest thing about writing for commercials is that you really have to score to the visual. So things have to really line up and sync. Now, I'd say the easiest part of writing for commercials is that it's a much shorter piece of music that you're writing. This is 30 seconds, sometimes it's less. At the max, you're gonna get a minute or a minute and a half, which is still only half a song. So let's go through here, and I want to just stop every time we got what I call a hard sync, which is where I'm obviously writing for the visual element. Check this out, here we go. Right there, right away, had to line up my clap with their clap. So that was number one, right out of the gate.
There's a reason the holidays bring us together.
Right there, I made sure that my clap lined up with that slam dunk. There too, I wanted my clap to line up with that font on the screen. And right there, when they go to slow motion, I needed to have some sounds that were the emotion of things slowing down.
Why cold weather can't stop us from heating up.
And then right there at the end, when the NBA logo comes on, I had to have that lineup. So you could see with the claps in the beginning and some of those syncs and then the sync at the end, that kind of determines what your tempo is. So I had to, that's why I ended up at 152, was to allow all those things to line up. Because most of the time when you do commercials, the visual runs the show, and we, the audio people or the music people, we're working around them. And in my experience, it's very rare that they will cut to one of my ideas because I'm like, oh no, we had one more beat in the measure. It's more like, hey, you gotta make it work. Again, to recap, I think one of the most challenging things is how to get it to sync. But then one of the most easy things is how short the music is. So let's look at what I have going on here. This is a pretty simple trap song. I have only 30-something tracks. Let's see here. We got the drums in the beginning. Here's my drum group. Didn't really use much MIDI on this tune. Used a lot of audio. So here's my drums. Kick and drum racks. All my top percussion is grouped. check it out. I got it was a little bit biting, so I use a transient master to pull off on the attack. Always cut out your lows. A little bit of solid bus comp. Just a little tiny bit. Then I had a gate that kind of helped all of the different claps decay at the same time. Then I had a little bit of reverb after that gate. And then I had some echo at one point just for an effect. Let's see where that is. Yeah, that's right there. And that was lining up with this. That's that I'm Y thing. So I found that the slapped echo gave it a little bit of extra emphasis. So let's see, what else do I got here? I got your typical trap hats. You know, no big deal. That is just a single hit. And you'll see that I actually have it on 2 different pitches an octave apart, and that makes it a little thicker. So I got this one and this one. So together.
Best gifts are delivered in
little glitch fill right here at the end.
Why cold weather can't stop us from...
Oh, and that gets us to our drop. Let's look at our 808. This is really the only bass that I have in here, and I really kept it simple. Let's check it out. It's just an instance of simpler, and it's this guy. And then I put a bass splitter in here. So what this is it's an instrument rack, and on I have a sub side and a top bass side. And the sub, it's just below 120 hertz with a little bit of glue compression on it. Nothing crazy. And then on my high side, if we just mute that so we'll mute the sub so you can hear the top. That is 120 cutoff, and it's got the camel crusher. Let's see, without the camel crusher. Yeah, it doesn't have the bite, right? And then the old delay trick, which is called the Haas effect, where we have one side in real time and another, and then our right side. So left side's in real time, right side is 12 milliseconds delay. And we get this widener right here. See that? It's right down the middle. It's plain Jane mono. Now it's wide, and then we put the sub back in. Let's listen to just the sub for a second. Good. Now together, the top and the bottom. And then I can use the volumes and the chains to adjust my ratio. And then as a group, they are just side chaining to my kick drum.
Why cold weather can't stop us from heating up. Why last second surprise is something you never forget.
And it's just classic. It's basically one note. I mean, I did the octave here, but it's just the root.
They can't stop us from heating up.
Okay, so let's talk about the melodic elements of the drop. We have the drop synth. And then we have the samples that are all audio. The drop synth, which is kind of like the counterpoint, the original element that I wrote that aren't part of Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker suite. It's like the classic trap brass thing that's like in a harmonic minor. And it really came from the idea of the sample that I found that sounds like this on its own. I was initially trying some filtering with it with this audio effect, but I decided not to, and I just turned it off. So, but that is that sample, and then I doubled it with this instance of this serum bell lead, which sounds like this. So together, cool. So the thing I love about this bell lead is it has this envelope filter. It's just really fast attack and really fast decay. And it's basically acting as like a filter gate. Because if I turn this filter up, check out how much longer this sound is. So you turn it down here and it really helps the quickness of decay. And then I use the classic EDM OTT here, so without it, just gives a little extra oomph. the gate to tighten everything up, especially like right there. And then I take the low out, of course. And then I had one more little extra counterpoint here in this lead. So, and with all these, I was kind of experimenting initially with having like a metal amp on it, but it was just too over the top. Here's with the amp on. It got too mucky, especially for a commercial aesthetic. All right, so those are my synths, and now let's go down here to the samples. So all of these samples, basically the advertising agency sent this to me, and actually it was the production company that sent it to me, but they sent me these stems, and they had made these so that we could use elements of Nutcracker Trap, or of the Nutcracker suite, for free, and we didn't have to deal with sampling an orchestra or any of that kind of stuff. So in my classic Cloudchord workflow here, I just turn off elements of clips when I'm not using them. That way, just in case there's things that might be the right answer for later on, I like to know that there were initially pieces of audio there. So for example, right here, there was a little something, I don't know, maybe that kind of thing there. I thought maybe I'd want to use it again. I didn't, but you know, that's my workflow. So each one of these tracks more or less just have like a high pass or low cut filter on them. Maybe a little bump here and there depending on the instrument and what I'm trying to accentuate. But really on the group itself is where I really hone in with the nuance. So for here, Fab Filter Pro Q for, again, some more low cut, but then the Vintage Warmer to compress it and get some makeup gain and get some saturation. So it sounds like this. Now without those plugins, obviously the utility makes it much louder. And with this being like a trap and EDM thing, I didn't need all that low end. And that Vintage Warmer gives me a little bit of crispness on the top end and the high mids. And a lot of that I just did kind of the manual clip stuttering of just kind of breaking them up into different clips and repasting them so you get like right there and right there. This is very EDM kind of thing. Okay, last but not least, let's look at my effects channel and how that helped me with sync. So here we go.
And the holidays bring us together.
Right there, if we solo up the effects, that slam dunk sound was not there. I put that in there. Boom. And then the same thing here. And then this riser. Yeah, so what do we got there? That noise riser, that's an instance of operator here. And it's just some filter frequency automation. So that sounds like this. The little sweep, and then on top of that is this little, so you put it together.
Why cold weather can't.
And then on the drop, I got this little glass breaking, because that was kind of cute. Nobody said anything, so I assume they like it. And then small little things make this go forward and keep it from being boring. Like even this little sound right here. Basket again. Check it out. What does theirs sound like? It sounds like this.
Prize.
No basket sound in theirs. They were stoked that I actually did some NBA style Foley, if I remember correctly.
Never forget. And why it feels like.
Another little reverse Foley there.
Feels like Christmas morning 5 times.
Another basket impact.
One day.
And then the siren. Like a sound of excitement when their logo comes in. And then of course I had a little bit more white noise here. So it kind of puts it all together.
One day.
Cool. So as you can see, little things make these visual projects go forward. So if you're working on some kind of visual, number one, having a computer that is strong enough for you to work with video in Ableton Live is a huge game changer. And because you want to be able to have a rig that moves quickly enough so where you can sync things like this and your audio and your video is accurate. Appreciate everybody watching this. Now check out Nutcracker Trap with some new ears. And if you have any questions, hit me in the comments below. Peace.